Alexa standing by, but before we bring her in, let's go to the video of the police.
Yes.
Threatening to arrest her.
Shameful.
For recording Islamic prayers in public in front of the Notre-Dame Basilica. And it's part of an anti-Israel demonstration. It is very clearly about a show of dominance and superiority. And the police decided that she was the problem here and went after her.
Yep.
So let's watch this.
Je t'ordonne de circuler parce qu'en ce moment, si tu me dis ça, je vais t'arrêter pour entendre.
Entendre de quoi? Pour avoir fait mon travail de journaliste?
Il est 17h28, tu avertis formellement. Si tu continues à créer la situation, ça va être une entrave.
Quelle situation? Parce que je fais mon travail de journaliste. Tu n'as pas le droit de me toucher. Tu n'as pas le droit de me toucher.
C'est un ordre, sinon je t'arrête pour entrave. Fait que là, je vais te demander de circuler. L'ordre est donné. C'est ta décision à partir de maintenant.
Sérieusement, on se voit en cours. Je veux avoir ton badge number.
Il y a un arrêt pour ça, madame. Il y a un arrêt.
Je veux avoir ton badge number.
7737.
Toi aussi.
5169.
Votre nom, c'est?
Cyber. À l'air.
À l'air.
Secto. Allez, allez.
Non, parce qu'on va te voir en cours, monsieur. Savez-vous que je suis en cours contre vous? Pour avoir refusé de nous protéger. D'avoir refusé de nous protéger, vous avez juste. En ce moment, j'ai le droit d'être ici. C'est un lieu public. Je suis ici. Je m'en fiche, messieurs. Vous ne protégez pas les journalistes. Et on l'a vu. Non, vous ne l'avez pas vu. Mais oui, vous m'avez empêché de faire mon travail de journaliste.
Non, tu fais très bien ton travail de là. T'as pas besoin d'être
parce que vous pensez que les prières de rue ne sont pas d'actualité, monsieur. En passant, là, en ce moment, il y a un projet de loi pour bannir ces prières de rue-là, monsieur.
On n'est pas sur la même longueur d'onde.
OK, vous êtes du côté des musulmans, des islamistes? Parfait, on le sait maintenant. On le savait. Monsieur, j'ai le droit d'être ici.
That's outrageous, completely infuriating. You are in front of a mob designed to intimidate people, and your crime there is refusing to be intimidated by them. So the police come along and do their best to intimidate you. This is our friend Alexa Lavoie. She is the strong-willed lady in that footage, standing up to the police who are preventing her from doing her job, which she's allowed to do in a free country for now. Alexa, tell us about what was happening there. Tell us about these demonstrations at the Basilica. I mean, really every week.
But first of all, they are targeting specific places as the Israel consulate and sometimes the U.S. consulate. But most recently, they are going again and again and again to Notre-Dame Basilica. They are targeting that place of worship. It's clearly to show dominance, as you just mentioned before the video. And our point was just to go and to film the prayer. We didn't go and follow the protest. We just wanted to capture that prayer because it's actually newsworthy. Since at this moment, there is a bill to ban all public prayer of all faith. So Christian, Jews, all other faiths will be actually banned to do any kind of a public demonstration because of the abuse of one faith. So I went there and I was on the other side of the street and I was just waiting for them to start the prayer before going a little bit closer to be able to film with my phone up in the air because I knew they would probably try to block my view with board or flag or any kind of like items that they can use. But some of them came to me and they actually acknowledged that I have the rights to film. But it took like less than a minute. Then other protesters got violent, came into my face, tried to stop me to record that prayer. And suddenly the police came to me and say like, why are you not letting them pray? let them pray. And I was like, I'm letting them praying. I'm actually just recording their prayer because I want to show that what is going on in Montreal. And a lot of people want to know what is going on with those public prayer because there is no mainstream media who dare to come and to record what is happening. There were no other media than us. And
sorry to interrupt, but this is not the first time that they have been intimidating. They poured water on Guillaume on June 22nd. Police were there. Police did nothing. This is targeted harassment of the journalists who are trying to show the world what's happening there. And the police are doing repeatedly nothing.
Or if they do something, they are arresting violently independent journalists, as Natasha last time in April. So they are doing this in front of those radical protesters who feel emboldened to go even further because they know they will be protected by the police, and the police will actually stop any kind of independent news outlet to report on what they are doing because they know that we are going to show the truth. We are not going to paint them as like, oh, look at them, good people. They are doing nothing really wrong when they actually do hate speech. Those march are 8 March. They are praying repeatedly in front of place of worship that is not there. Why targeting a Christian place of worship for doing this? So it's all what we want to show, but the police seems to just want to protect them. And I don't know if this is because I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, the SPVM faced a class action for systemic racism in the past. And they lost because the mayor of Montreal acknowledged that that was a problem. And after that, they put in place Fadi Daguerre, that is the new chief of police, because he too acknowledged that this was a problem of systemic racism. The SPVM, and I don't know who was actually ordered to pay, but it was something like $171 million to that class action. So now I feel that they don't want to be labeled to do racist action towards those group of people, because mainly what I saw is like every time that I'm trying to say something or do something in face of those protesters, they call me racist, Islamophobe, or other kind of name. So I'm thinking, do they are scared to have another class action for racism if they are doing something?
Well, if I may, Alexa, watching that video makes my blood boil. Certainly, I've been there. In a way, you got off lightly. I was arrested, as you know, 5 times in the space of 5 months last year for practicing journalism in a public space. It's especially offensive to law enforcement, it would seem, if you are dealing with anything that is Islamist or transgender. That puts a target on your back. To Sheila's point, I 100% believe the only reason they are there in front of the Basilica, this is an example of Islamist exceptionalism. They are pushing the envelope. They are saying, we dare you to shut us down. Once upon a time, the Catholic Church was so important in Quebec. It's less so now. I grant you that. My question, Alexa, it's a hypothetical one. Not that we're ever going to see it, I think. But if a group of other people of another faith went to a mosque in Montreal in those numbers and started this kind of a ceremony, I wonder what the response of law enforcement would be. I would guess, knowing what I know from the Montreal police, they wouldn't be in protection mode. They would go into whack 'em and stack 'em mode if any of the Islamists were to object. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they would be labeled as Islamophobic if they are going and pray in front of the mosque. And I think the police officer will have take that really seriously as like almost like a hate crime to do this. But when it comes to synagogue or a Christian place of worship as this basilica, seems like this is okay. There is no danger there. There is no kind of like other perspective than just like it's just a prayer. And I feel that there is a huge double standard in Canada, and they know how to play it. I'm talking about those protesters. They know how to play it. They know how to use our rule, regulation, and laws to push their agenda, because there is clearly an agenda behind all this. And and by the way, I don't know if Efron have the video I sent earlier, but I want to show you, because the police were repeatedly saying, "Oh, you can film from afar," but the protester was praying the other side of the truck, and so my camera, same if I can zoom, I can't see through a car, you know?
Yeah.
So I need to film from on top.
Yeah.
And so I arrived to film next to the truck, and I just put my phone really high there. Look at how they remove me, grab my bag, push me, and say, stop creating a situation. I say, you just created the situation. You actually removed me when I had the space for me to film the prayer.
Alexa, a very quick follow-up. What is behind law enforcement acting this way? And we see it in other cities as well. Is this individual police officers having, I don't know, Stockholm syndrome, that they actually are getting friendly with the demonstrators? Or do you think, and this is what I suspect, at least in Toronto, this is coming from the senior brass, perhaps even the mayor, saying, when you see peaceful counter demonstrators, when you see members of the independent press, shut it down. What is your estimation of what's going on behind the scenes?
My personal analysis, I think it's something to do with Valérie Plante, the mayor of Montreal. First of all, because when I was recording, and I'm paraphrasing right now, one of the police officers asked me if I was going to be a candidate for the mayoral race. And he asked me because in that way I would be able to change the order that they receive. So in my perspective, it's like, so you just admit that your order is coming from the mayor.
And
Good
it's
point.
political. Yeah.
Because why would you say that when I didn't talk about Valérie Plante or anything? He actually went straight to, because we are going to have an election, I think it's this year, because Valérie Plante is not going to be the candidate. But the thing is, all the candidates, almost, for being a mayor of Montreal are all leftists. So I don't think nothing's going to change.
You know, and Alexa, if I may too, in the Department of Double Standards, which you brought up, I would be fascinated if a member of the mainstream media, the legacy media, especially a female, if they were treated that way by law enforcement. I'm arguing there'd probably be a royal commission struck tomorrow on the imposition of law enforcement against freedom of the press. But we don't see the legacy media covering these events. Why? I would argue they don't want other people to see this seamier side of multiculturalism, or they are on Team Hamas. Your thoughts?
I think it's a little bit of this, and I think it's a little bit also because I spoke with one of the cameramen for one of the mainstream media. I say, we got attacked and we refuse to go anymore. So I don't know if it's a mix of everything. But you see, it worked with the mainstream media for not reporting on them anymore. We will not back down because I think it's important to show the truth. Yeah. And it's not because the police is abusing of their power to say, oh, we are going to remove you because of what, which law, which regulation, because I'm in a public space. I have the rights to do my journalism. So we are going to continue and to expose the corruption, to expose the double standard and the hypocrisy that is running deep in politics, but also in law enforcement. And I am so sad because I am back the blue first. I like the police, we need them. But when it comes to this kind of behavior and this kind of order that we don't know where the order come from, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Hey, Alexa, I hate to cut you short, but they need the studio right away. And I should tell everybody how they can support you and your work out there. Now, we frequently and routinely hire bodyguards who work with you. But bodyguards don't work against the police.
Right.
They have to listen to the police. But we do always want to keep you safe from these Hamas lunatics out there. And the best way to do that is to support Alexa and the rest of our team at journalistdefensefund.com. Alexa, thanks so much for refusing to be intimidated by the bad guys, but also the bad guys who sometimes wear a uniform.
And Alexa, thank you for your bravery. Thank you for keeping your composure. You are one of the bravest reporters I know. L is for Lavoie and L is for Linus. And that is what you are, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa.
Bye.